Hello, how are you? How's everybody doing? Listen, since we last talked, lots has happened. And, somewhere somebody's getting shot, as usual, but not here. So, we're happy about this, right? I know I am. So, I had this subject picked out that I was going to ramble about tonight, and I was all ready to get get my angry rant on. There were props. I had props. No, I didn't. I didn't really have props. I'm making that up. But there was a thing that when I saw it before I went to work, I was like, yeah, that's tremendously stupid. I'll probably rant about that, because occasionally I like to rant. And it was this whole thing with this Finnish Hearthstone tournament. Apparently, the International eSports Federation was setting up the rules, and they set it up so that apparently they had a desire to have things as a separate league for women and men. And the tournament rules, as posted, said men only. Apparently, they just hadn't gotten around to scheduling the women's tournament. And this caused much consternation amongst those on the internet who pay attention to such things. Hearthstone, for those of you who are unfamiliar, and really if you're watching this, I'm a little surprised that you're unfamiliar, is essentially a card game, but it's a card game that you play online. It was put together by Blizzard, the guys who did World of Warcraft, and it's a thing. I'm going to play with my hair now, because that's what guys do. We play with our hair. No. It's a fun game. It's free to play, and I have played it a lot. I actually had to take kind of a break from it for a while, because I'd been playing it too much. I'll probably get back into it. But yeah, it's a fun game. I certainly would recommend it. There is nothing about it that I would say would be more difficult for women, somehow. I joked that maybe they thought that the women folk would get the vapors, which may not make any sense to anybody who isn't from the South. The vapors is usually a term that they were getting overwrought and were apt to faint or some such. Because, yeah, it's not really a thing, but, what are you going to do? Anyways, I was ready to rant about this. I was, I had my theoretical but non-existent props, and there was going to be charts, and the whole 9 yards. I was going to yell, and they would be throwing things around, or not really, because it's the middle of the night. I don't have enough energy for that sort of thing. But, turns out, while I was at work, those shameless heathens in Finland, which I don't know if that really counts as shameless heathenness, actually reversed it. They went, yeah, the gender roles have been removed. We're sorry. Thanks for everyone who pointed out the problem. And so men and women competing together in a tournament as they should. So yeah, not a lot to rant about there. Certainly a number of people who were posting on comment threads on the internet about how, well, of course they're separate. They separate them in chests and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, the internet is filled with people that if you met them in person and they talk that way, you would want to smack them with a chain. Preferably a big chain. Well, maybe a bicycle chain. Well, it's a thing. I'm equal opportunity. So now I don't have anything to get really all that angry about. But, yay for Finland for straightening things out and not being stupid anymore. Yeah. Anyway. So that happened. Yeah. I now have to find something else to rant about. I kind of feel silly that. Well, I don't really have a rant in me at this point. I am starting tomorrow. I'm going to start playing with something that I haven't played with in a while. And I bring it up because it is very game related. It's called Duolingo. And it's this app and website designed to teach you different languages. They only have a few languages at this point. I think they've got Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and German, I think. And French. Yeah. French. Duh. Anyways, they've got those languages, and what you do is you slowly play through their lessons, and you earn points, and it becomes kind of a gamification thing. And you compare your points against somebody else's points, and you start competing to see who can do the most. And the service is absolutely free, so there's that, which is nice. Went up on something like a Rosetta Stone. And there are a lot of studies that indicate that if you know 2 languages by the time you're in old age, it helps keep your faculties about you. So there's that. There are a bunch of positive studies about learning another language and the benefits of it just on your health. Not to mention, expanding your horizons or increasing the number of people you can communicate with and other things, but, actual health benefits to learning these things. So, it's something I have an interest in, and I could do a lesson or 2 a day and just, try and go forward. I probably will have to start over from the beginning because it's been so long since I took any of the lessons. So, I'll start over. But anyways, I brought this up because I think it's a really cool thing, and it's a really cool use of games and how games work to teach people things. And I saw a while back there was like a Kickstarter for a game where the spellcasting in the game involved learning to read and speak Korean. And you would, if I remember correctly, the more aptitude you had in actually reading and speaking Korean, the better the spells you could cast. And I thought that was a neat idea. And I've seen people go kind of gaga about learning stuff to, do better in a game. That there are people who will learn code stuff to be able to use it in games better. There are people that learned sign language so they could communicate together at LARPs. If you have a major game where one of the aspects of it is, you can unlock power by speaking in perfect Sindarin, I guarantee you, if it's popular enough, a number of people will learn how to speak Sindarin. I think that's an interesting space in games. I kind of want to see some people do more with that. There's some other games out there that they're built on the notion of teaching you how to code. I think that's cool. The key, I think, is to make them more cool than we're trying to fool you into learning something. I can remember growing up, little games of, like math games and alphabet games and things like that. And they're, it was pretty clear this is a disguised lesson. And there wasn't a cool factor to it. The thing with the Korean game where you learn the spell casting by learning to read or speak Korean, that's cool, because you're learning to cast spells. And, your character gets to do all this cool stuff just by learning this cool thing. And, it gives a cool factor to it. And I think that's kind of neat. Duolingo doesn't have that cool factor. It's just useful, and it's free. The interesting way they're keeping it free is after you advance to a certain point, you can earn points by translating things that they provide you. And they're being paid by somebody to have these things translated. So they're basically getting something that needs translation. They give it to their students to translate. They take, 2 or 3 different translations that their students have done to make sure that they compare together and match up. And then they use that translation and give it back to the person. That's awesome! That's really cool. And that's how they make their money. They get their money from the guy who wants the translation, and they use their students to help pay for that. Help process those translations. It's kind of an ingenious way of doing things. But they've got like an app on all the various app stores, and they've got the Windows, the website and such. So it's worth checking out. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll link up with you. Anyway, that's my ramble for today. I was fully prepared to be angry and ranting and stuff, and instead I end on a slightly positive note of talking about trying to learn new stuff. Who knew? Well, anyway, thanks for checking out and saying hi and, wave. Looks kind of cool on the screen. Okay, yeah, that's a little weird. But yeah, subscribe, like, say hello to all the peoples, and, have a good night, I guess. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, unless the house burns down or something. So, there's that.